Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the Paralegal Success Symposium. We have a wonderful event planned for you all tonight, and we will get started shortly. We just want to allow a few extra minutes for folks to log on and get settled. So thank you so much for being here. If you are a current student, please make sure to type your name in the chat. You'll be hearing later on from Director Lazarus regarding an extra credit opportunity. So make sure that your name is entered so that we know that you were here, you get that extra credit nearing the end of the semester. And we know that, everybody is looking forward to some extra credit.
Evening, everybody. My name is Callahan. I am the Dean of Enrollment Management at Plaza College. I am joined by my esteemed colleagues this evening and so many students I see that are currently still logging on. I do know that this is, some of you are coming from class, which is great. So we're going to give you just a few more moments to log on and get settled. I do ask that once we do start the event that you turn your cameras on. We miss doing these events in person, and hopefully soon we'll be doing some more at the college, but out of convenience and really out of demand, we did another virtual event. So many of you love them and find them super convenient. But we ask that you put your cameras on. It helps us see you. So if you're in a place where it's appropriate for you to put your camera on, some of you I know are working and are making time to attend, but put your camera on and let us see your face. We miss seeing our students. And also make sure you have a notebook and pen ready to go, or whatever it is that you're going to be taking notes, because we are also joined this evening by a very special speaker, Estrin, who is the CEO of Estrin Staffing. She's also the president and co-founder of the Organization of Legal Professionals and the originator of the e-discovery certification exam. So she's going to have a lot of insight. If you are joining us as a prospective student and you're thinking to yourself, how did I even get to this event? I have no interest in paralegal. You don't know that yet. As a prospective student, it is so important to attend events like this one to see for yourself if this is something you're interested in. It is a very common occurrence as a prospective student to listen to another student, listen to an esteemed speaker like Cherie, and decide, maybe I'm gonna change my mind. So make sure you are open to everything you're gonna hear. You're also going to hear some really great stories from students and alumni on their success. And those stories go beyond just being a paralegal student. Those stories, what they've done to be successful, how they've gotten to be who they are as alumni and students, is important for everyone. So I'm really proud of our attendance so far. We're gonna give it about another 60 seconds or so, and we'll get started. And remember, if you could put your camera on, please do. It's so nice to scroll through. I see lots of faces. Oh, I see them now. It's so nice to see so many faces. We miss seeing you. And we're happy you're here. I see there's still people joining. So again, another 60 seconds and we will begin.
Ms. Callahan?
Yes.
Hi, it's Mary.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So I wouldn't be able to turn on my camera because I work in the medical field and HIPAA.
Not a problem. Oh, I totally understand. And I appreciate you joining us regardless. So I'm going to ask that all of our guests this evening just remain on mute so we can get started. Sometimes we hear little things in the background. So we're going to get started. I do see Director Pocadeo sent us a lovely message inside the chat. She said, congratulations to everyone for putting together such a wonderful event. You all are in for a fantastic symposium. Thank you, Ms. Pocadeo. Thank you for all you do for our paralegal students. So we are going to begin and get started right away. Once again, we certainly have folks still joining us. I can see coming on as I speak, but I'm sure they'll catch up. I want to, keep everybody's time, at interest. So again, welcome everybody. My name is Callahan. I am the Dean of Enrollment Management here at Plaza College. I also wear many hats, so many of you know me. I'm so excited to be here with you tonight, joined by my esteemed colleagues. There's many here tonight, like Ms. Atkinson in Office of the President, Sasha Saw, the Director of Admissions. We are also joined by, of course, your most esteemed Program Director, Director Jackie Lazarus. We're also joined by Director Regina Pocadeo, who has formed such wonderful connections with the legal community in the 5 boroughs and beyond, and many others. I'm sorry if I do. Oh, Director Cohn, excuse me, who actually is hosting part of this event this evening and put together such a lovely format for us as well. And everybody here loves Director Cohn and all of her events and accomplishments. She recently came back from a huge conference for Plaza, so we're grateful. Anyway, that's just some excitement to kick us off. Tonight, we do have a wonderful presentation planned for you to give you insight on the latest news within the industry. Our keynote speaker, Cherie Estrin, who we're very excited to have here, will provide great context for the demand of paralegals amidst the pandemic and beyond. Additionally, we will be hearing from Plaza alumni who have either earned their degree in paralegal studies and are either working in the field or continuing their studies with us. Many are getting their bachelor's degree, and that's something you may want to hear about tonight as well. And of course, we're honoring some of our hardest working guests, students, for their achievements in their studies. So without further ado, I would like to introduce someone that you all know and love, our devoted program director, Jackie Lazarus.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for joining us tonight. I am so happy you guys are all here. Students, please make sure you put your name in the chat so you don't miss out on the opportunity for extra credit for attending tonight's event. So As we were planning for this event, I really wanted to invite someone to join us who would provide inspiration and knowledge to all of you so that you could really hear firsthand how essential the role of the paralegal is. So without any hesitation, I want to present to you my colleague, Sherry Estrin. She's the CEO of Estrin Staffing, and she just came to mind because she's someone who really is at the pulse of the paralegal. She knows what's going on. So I was really grateful that she was able to attend and she was excited to join us tonight. So along with being CEO of Estrin Staffing, Sherry is also the president and co-founder of the Organization of Legal Professionals. And she was the originator of the e-discovery certification exam. And we all know how important e-discovery is today. So it's something really exciting. Tonight, Sherry is going to speak to us about what skills employers are looking for in a paralegal today and how the role of paralegal has changed due to the pandemic and in this new virtual environment. This is all new to everybody the past couple of years. We're getting used to it. So things have changed. So everyone, please join me in welcoming our keynote speaker, Ms. Sherry Estrin.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. My name is Sherry Estrin, and I am a recovering paralegal. So let me tell you a little bit about my journey in the paralegal field. I'll be very brief about that because it could be very long, and we're here for a whole host of other things. However, I think it's an interesting journey that I've had. I started out as your garden variety litigation paralegal in Seattle, Washington. And I moved to Los Angeles, went to work for one of the top entertainment law firms, and became their paralegal administrator. Well, I was doing such a great job, apparently, that another firm, what we call an AmLaw 10, meaning one of the top 10 law firms in the entire country, stole me away as the paralegal administrator. And I built a paralegal program for them. And we had something like, I don't know, 50, 60, 70 paralegals at any one time that I was in charge of. Well, I suddenly decided that the best part of my job that I really liked was recruiting, and staffing. So I went out and opened my own business, and 2.5 years later, I sold it for $2 million and went to work for this huge corporation, $5 billion. And I reported directly to the CEO of this $5 billion corporation, public corporation. I didn't like it. I hated it. I didn't like working for anybody else. So out I went, left the Mercedes, left the house in Pacific Palisades, left all of that, started all over again. Well, since that time, I have written 10 books. I am the winner of the Los Angeles Women of Achievement Award. I have a blog that's been going around since 2005. I hope you take a look at it. You might like it. Let's see. 2 weeks ago, I was written up in the Wall Street Journal. Front page, this girl from the Valley, front page, and Fortune magazine. So I'd like you to take a look at my blog to see what article triggered that. Actually, it was called, "Are You Pretty Enough for Your Firm?" Which leads me into what's going on in law firms today. Oh my God. I mean, you could not be in a better place. You couldn't. You just couldn't. Paralegals are in such demand right now that, well, let me tell you, my staffing company staffs the top 250 law firms in the entire world. We deal with lawyers. The firms only recruit their lawyers from the top 15 schools, and out of the top 15 schools, they only look at the top 10% of the grades. So, I'm dealing with Harvard, Yale, Stanford, a lot of egos. So anyway, here we had this pandemic. And on March 11th in 2020, I thought I was going to die because everybody got laid off. It was sort of like my whole business was a domino effect. Oh my gosh, layoff, furloughs, you name it, firings, right and left. But what happened was the business of law heated up. It didn't really go down. So people were very sorry that they laid everybody off. What happened was certain specific specialties such as corporate, mergers and acquisitions, real estate, suddenly heated up. Why? Because all of these companies were afraid that with the pandemic, what was going to happen to their contracts? Okay, their real estate contracts, their leases, they're closing up, they're going broke, this and that. So that heated up. Intellectual property heated up. Trust and estate planning. Why trust and estate planning? Because of the pandemic, everybody's getting their affairs in order. Why not? Okay, why not? It's about time. Bankruptcy heated up. Why? Because a lot of those companies were going out of business. So right now, you could not be in a better place in the paralegal world. Why? It's a candidate's market. Okay, what does that mean? It means that there are more jobs than there are candidates out there. What does that mean? Oh my God, are you lucky or what? I mean, I'm not saying we're lucky we had a pandemic. God knows I was lonely for 2 years. However, what happened is because it's such a tight market right now that you're not going to believe this, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Law firms are paying hiring bonuses for paralegals. Hiring bonuses for paralegals, that's something they used to do for attorneys, right? So hiring bonuses for paralegals, it'll go anywhere from, my experience, it doesn't mean that you'll get it, but it goes anywhere from $3,000 to $20,000. That's just to bring you in the door, okay? That's just to bring you in the door. What's happening is salaries are 10 to 20% higher than they were pre-COVID, and that's for the same job. Okay, that's for the very same job. Nothing changed. Okay, they're not asking you to do more. They're not asking you to be more sophisticated. They just want you to get in the door. The good candidates are only lasting 10 days on the market, 10 days. And what's happening in there? Well, they're getting multiple offers. They're getting retention bonuses, hiring bonuses, counter offers. You cannot believe what a good candidate, now I mean a good candidate, okay? I don't mean somebody with just average skills. I'm talking about a good candidate, what law firms will do to get you in the door. Well, where are the hot areas? You cannot find a good corporate paralegal if your life depended on it. So if you're thinking about getting into a hot area, take a look at the corporate area. Now, I don't mean somebody working for a corporation. That's corporate transactional, mergers and acquisitions, securities, private equity, life sciences, technology, startups, okay? This is all where the action is right now. So you want to take a look at the corporate end of it. Now, for some people like me, corporate was, well, all right, it wasn't instant gratification enough, all right? Obviously, I'm into instant gratification. Otherwise, I wouldn't have a weight problem. So anyway, so litigation paralegals are now in demand as well. Trust and estates, as I said, and bankruptcy. Why? Because everybody went bankrupt. Not everybody. I didn't go bankrupt. But so law firms are looking for these skills. Now, what do you have to do to have these skills? Okay, so you have to be on the very cutting edge of technology. Technology is your key to success. If you're a litigation paralegal, you have to know relativity. If you're a corporate paralegal, you have to know, any corporate program that goes along with UCC filings, mergers and acquisitions, closing documents, real estate, the same thing. You have to take a look at technology because that's where the money's at. Okay, that's where the money's at. Now, people are going to say to me, well, Sherry, I'm not in it for the money. Let me tell you something. You put an extra $300 in your pocket every week and you're in it for the money. Okay. Now, what are salaries going for? It depends on where you live. All right. And it depends on what kind of a law firm or in-house legal department that you go to work for. I don't know, really. Maybe Jackie, you can tell me, what are starting salaries in the New York area? Do you know?
I'm
offhand?
I'm not really familiar. I know Ms. Pocadillo works with our students. She's the director of our placement department. So I'm not
Okay.
really sure.
Well-
And she's bouncing from another call. She's on another
Okay,
meeting.
no, that's fine. In Los Angeles, it's around 60,000. Okay, that's a lot of money for somebody right out of school. So 60,000. For the specialty areas, now we're talking about people with 5 years of experience. Now, I don't know any other field where you're called a senior anything after 5 years of experience, but you are in the paralegal field, okay? So you can see anywhere is phenomenal. You can get a 5-year paralegal, and I'm talking about Los Angeles, New York, okay? They're gonna be getting around anywhere from 85 to 95,000 a year. Dollars, okay, dollars, 85 to 95,000 dollars. Now, depending on your skills, okay, you can get. I have job orders right now all the way up to 195,000. All right, plus a hiring bonus for an extremely talented 10-year corporate paralegal to work for an AmLaw 10 firm. This is when you're at the top of your game. Okay. And by the time you get overtime, and law firms do pay year-end bonuses. So you get overtime, you get the year-end bonus, maybe you got the hiring bonus, you could buy a house. I mean, literally, you could buy a house. Okay. So it's not that every paralegal job is that lucrative. It's what's going on in the market right now. So if you want to take advantage of anything, now is the time to do it. So if you're just starting out, how do I do that? Well, first of all, your certificate is not the only thing that's going to get you a job. You're going to have to demonstrate excellent writing skills. Law firms right now, the first test of your writing skill is what? It's your resume, okay? They're going to take a look at your resume and see if you can write. I can't tell you, even attorneys, I get resumes, bad grammar. Okay, typos. If they have spell check, God knows what's going on. Okay, but I get that. Your cover letter, it cannot be the trite, old, dear hiring manager. I'm a great paralegal. I want this job. Yada yada yada. Thank you very much, and you can reach me at 555-1212. So your first writing test is in your cover letter and your resume. That's the first test. Once you get on the job, you're going to have excellent writing skills. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean you have to draft pleadings? Yeah, that's what it means. Or does it mean you have to draft agreements? Yes, that's what it means. So if you have to go back and take a writing class, go back and take a writing class, because this is where you're going to be successful. Everybody says, okay, paralegals, attention to detail. Well, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't have any job order that says I want a paralegal who cannot pay attention to detail. I don't have it. Okay, I just don't have it. So you have to be really good in attention to detail. Now, me, I'm a marketing person. Okay, I don't want the details. I just want to go from here down to the bottom. Give me the bottom line. So today, I probably wouldn't make it as a paralegal. Quite truthfully, I probably wouldn't, because I just want to hear the bottom line. Another thing that you're going to need to do is to know how to work on your own. Now, are we team players? Sure, we're team players to a certain extent, but the pandemic has brought about a different way of working. Most paralegals are asking us now for 100% remote. Forget it. Okay, everybody's talking about, oh, I'm 100% remote, 100% remote. Law firms are the slowest ever to change, guaranteed. In fact, okay, this makes me a woman of a certain age, because I'm going to tell you a little bit about going back. But when lawyers first got computers, they didn't want computers. Why did they not want computers? They didn't want computers because they thought it was going to cut into their billable time. Okay, so they wouldn't be able to bill as much. That's what they thought. So lawyers are very, very, very slow to change. So they're getting on the bandwagon of the pandemic way of working very reluctantly. I don't know one firm that says, yay, 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 we get to have our paralegals work at home. That's just not what's happening. However, if you think you're going to get 100% remote position, maybe you are, but most likely you aren't. What you're probably going to get is the hybrid model. Now, the hybrid model is a combination of going into the office and working at home. So maybe you go to the office 2 days a week, work at home 3 days a week. So getting back to your skills, so you have to be able to work on your own. No longer is it a matter of checking in at 9, checking out at 5. Okay, and you have to sit there. It's what people are doing now is they're not hiring so much on years of experience as what you can produce. Okay, so here's a tip for you. If you get to be a 5-year paralegal, and let's say you're a litigation paralegal, and what your job duties are, bait stamping, summarizing depositions, organizing documents, that's the 1-year level. Okay, so if you don't progress up the ladder, up the sophisticated assignment ladder, what's going to happen is you're going to be paid for performance. Being paid for performance is that 5-year paralegal is going to get paid what the 1-year paralegal is getting paid. So if you take anything at all out of this talk, that is keep your skills up to date. Go to the webinars, go to the CLE, take extra classes and put it on your resume. By all means, put it on your resume. Put it at the top. If you're an entry-level paralegal, put it at the top, because that's the only thing you have going for you right now, okay, is your education. And believe me, lawyers like education, okay? That's what they like, all right? If it's written, it must be so, right? Okay, if it's written, it must be so. So that has to be incumbent upon you throughout your entire career, is you've got to keep up. Now, maybe your college gives extra CLE, I don't know. But what I do know is there are plenty of CLE classes out there through your association. There's plenty through the bar associations. Just because you're paralegal doesn't mean you can't take a lawyer course. And then there's all kinds of independent organizations, some good, some not so good, that you can go to. But by all means, you've got to keep those skills up. Keep those skills up. And then I'll tell you something. You got to get up in the morning and love it. You just got to get up in the morning and love it. You can't be crying in the shower every morning. Now, remember when I told you I had that highfalutin job, right? At the $5 billion company? I was crying in the shower every morning, okay? I was not a corporate person. I just could not work for somebody. I just couldn't. I did all right in the law firm, but that's different. There's no one person in charge, okay? It's just this group of people, very different than in the corporation. So that's one of the reasons I got out of it. But when you choose your specialty, what's really, really important is that you choose carefully. Choose very carefully, because that's going to lead you down the path of your career. So if you become a personal injury paralegal, there's nothing wrong with personal injury paralegals. We love them. However, it's going to be very difficult for you to cross over into civil litigation. Why? Because you're stuck in a niche and you can't get out. Same for corporate. Maybe you like being a corporate paralegal, or thought you did. You get in it and you find it boring. Okay, but it's not boring, really. Really, when you're on a closing, it's really kind of fun. But maybe that's not your cup of tea, and you want to cross into litigation. It's going to be very difficult. Okay, so it doesn't mean you can't do it. Paralegals do it all the time. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is choose carefully. Okay, take a course, go shadow a corporate paralegal, litigation paralegal, find out what they're doing. Ask them, do you enjoy your job? Go to your paralegal association, right? And find out, go to the meetings, find out what are people doing? Does that appeal to me? Because this is a very peculiar field in that really, once you get in that niche, very hard to get out, very, very hard to get out. So I advise you to do that. Another thing that's going to keep you going, and this is what I found, okay? I've written 10 books and I've written all these articles. I've written hundreds of articles. I've been interviewed by the LA Times, Newsweek, yada, 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 yada. Okay, why? Because I got my name out there. I got my name out there. What I did was I started writing articles, okay, for my paralegal association. That was it. Right? And that turned into something else. And then that turned into something else. And then that turned into something else. Okay, I like to write. But the point is that I got my name out there. Now, here's how those egos in the law firms work. Okay. They want a star. That's what they want. They want a star. And you can be that star because you've got the recognition. If you get the recognition, you're going to have a lot better chance of getting a great job. Why? Because they want somebody that they can come in and they can point to and say, that's Judy Smith. And Judy Smith just got written up in yada, 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 yada. Okay. If you don't like to write, that's okay. Maybe you like to teach. If you can teach it, you must know it, right? That's the way. And to our teachers in the room, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. So if you can teach it, you must know it. So that's going to give you extra points. That's going to make you a star. Another thing is if you can become an officer, a director in your paralegal association, that's going to help. Why? Because if you're that involved in the community, you must know what you're talking about. So all of these things together are going to help you be a better paralegal. Now, how do I get my first job? It's hard. Okay, it's hard. I'm not saying that that it's easy, but this market makes it a little bit easier because of the tight candidate. But also be careful when you get into your first job. Do they have a training program for you? Because as good as your program is, you didn't learn everything. Believe me, you didn't learn everything. I can tell you from experience, I didn't learn everything. Okay, I had to learn on the job. So find out, do they have a training program? Do they have anybody who can mentor me? How can I learn how to do this? Very important, because if you're left to your own devices, some of you can do it, but some of you need a little extra help, okay? Particularly in finding out how that particular firm does things. So ask the questions. If you're going to work in an in-house legal department, what is an in-house legal department? That's like American Express, who doesn't farm their work out to other lawyers. They have their own legal department. So you would be a paralegal in-house, and you want to get ahead, ask the question. How many paralegals came up through the ranks and are now vice president? If the answer is none, then the legal department is a stepchild, and maybe that's not what you want. So be very careful. Be very careful when you choose. Now, do you have a whole host of choices as an entry-level paralegal? Okay, I don't want to disillusion you. You really don't, but don't run into a situation where you take it just because it's a job. Okay, take it because you like it. Take it because you love it. I'm telling you, I've never had such a great time as I have in the paralegal field. I used to be in the theater. That was fun. I used to travel, yada, yada, yada. I had so these shows we did. That was fun, but this is more fun. I'll tell you, this is more fun. You're working with intelligent people. You're working in generally a very fast-paced environment, except for trust and estates. That doesn't really, I mean, you're dealing with people who are dying. I mean, what can I say? It's terrible. But okay, so trust and estates doesn't move that fast, but almost everything else is very fast-paced. So you've got to keep up. Don't let, if you are a man or a woman of a certain age, okay, don't worry about it. The average age of paralegal really is 36 to 38. That's the average age over the entire country. So what does that tell you? That tells you that the paralegal field is a second or third career choice for a lot of people. I don't know anybody who said when they were 8 years old, I want to grow up to be a paralegal. Doesn't happen. That's kind of like saying, when I grow up, I want to be an actuary. Okay, it doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. So however you got into the field is great. I just happened to fall into it. Another story. I have to tell you about it another time when we have more time. But people, this is not something you grow up and say, that's what I want to be. So this is a conscious choice. So when you make this choice, be very careful in your career what kind of choices you make. Check out the firm. Take a look on Vault. Okay, there's vault.com. That will tell you what the ratings are and on the firm you're working for. Take a look at Glassdoor. Glassdoor, our former and present employees really talking about the firm. Okay, check it out. Does it have a high turnover? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, maybe that's not for me, or maybe it's for me because I want to get my feet wet. All right, it's an individual decision. Check out the firm. Always check out the firm. And then finally, let me tell you something. the paralegal field is a field for smart people, smart people. You have to be smart in order to be a paralegal. So I congratulate all of you. Congratulate all of you. I am in touch with paralegals all over the country, actually all over the world, to tell you the truth. Gosh, people from Asia, people from Europe, Puerto Rico is not another country, but South America, Canada. I've worked with all of them, and I can tell you that if you reach out, you will find paralegals who will help you through your career. They will help you. Paralegals love to help other people. So get yourself a mentor, okay? Do the things that I'm telling you. Trust me, okay? If you don't take anything out of this talk, take this, and that is do the things that I'm telling you to do, okay? And I think that you're going to have a very wonderful, wonderful career. You don't have to become a lawyer. Some paralegals become a lawyer, but it's really not necessary. And a lot of paralegals make a lot more money than some of these attorneys. Okay, they really do, and they have a lot more stable career going. So all I can do is say to you, congratulations, you made the right decision. You absolutely made the right decision. Now, should you need me help, I'm available to you. I have a whole team of people that will help you with your resume. They will help you in terms of advice. They will tell you a little bit about how to interview. That's another thing. Okay, well, that's another time for another talk. Okay, it's how to interview. But I have a whole team of people. Get my email address. Take a look at Estrin Legal Staffing at our website. Contact us. We will help you. Most of the people on my staff are former paralegals. This is another career alternative for them, and they absolutely love it, and they know how to talk to you. So I really appreciate you having me talk. I hope, and I didn't go over time here. I can't tell, I don't have a clock, but anyway, I hope I didn't go over time. But again, congratulations. I'm proud of each and every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sherry. Thank you for sharing all this information and this insight. I think our students gained so much from you today. Thank you for everything you told them. And I really do hope that they listen and that they take away and do what you told them to do. Because they don't listen
do what I tell you to do.
They don't listen when I say it. So maybe somebody else.
No, I'm telling you, I tell my recruiters the same thing. Follow the program. If you just do what I'm telling you to do, you're going to win at this. Okay. So listen to those paralegals who are a little bit more experienced than you are, not necessarily older, but a little bit more experienced, and you will succeed. I promise you. In fact, I'll bet you 25 cents. I never go more than 25 cents, but I'll bet you 25 cents you'll succeed. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Sorry to interrupt, Sherry. Yes. I just want to also thank you for coming on. Your advice was actually applicable to anybody on this call this evening, your wisdom. So thank you. And also sprinkled with such humor. I could see the theater background in you. This was really wonderful. Thank you again. And I see all the students clapping. So thank you. Virtual clapping for you. Thank you so much for coming to us. Yes, thank you, students. Let's clap.
Thank you. And again, feel free to reach out to me. I'm here for you. Okay?
That was phenomenal. Thank you.
I'm here for you. Okay. Thank you. And I'll see you down the road.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. We were really honored that she was able to join us tonight and took the time to talk to us. And I really hope if anyone has any questions or wants to get more information, please reach out to me and we'll make sure that you get the info that you need. For the next portion of our event, I'm going to ask the Director of Student Activities, Director Risa Cohn, to join me in welcoming back our alum.
Hi, everyone. What a beautiful keynote address. I am so thrilled to be part of tonight's Success Symposium this evening. As you know, my role as Director of Student Activities allows me the opportunity to get to know students beyond academics. Student activities provide you with the ability to hone your skills as a professional before entering the workforce. And it's always my pleasure to speak with alumni and hear their stories of success. The first alumni I would like to introduce this evening is a former SKD Honor Society Conference panelist from 2021, Miss Latza Gopal. Latza, as a graduate of the Paralegal Studies program, please tell us how your externship experience prepared you for the workforce.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. I am honored to be here this evening. Thank you for the invite. To answer your question, Ms. Cohn, as a graduate of the Paralegal Studies program, my externship experience was with Pasternak, Tilker, Ziegler, Walsh, Stanton, and Romano. And they had prepared me for the workforce in the paralegal field by allowing me to observe the paralegals and attorneys staff, and provided me with hands-on work to any staff members that needed assistance. Besides providing office administrative duties, I observed the intake specialists provide customer service to prospective clients while taking in their information for a possible case. I shadowed paralegals within the workers' compensation and social security disability department while assisting with office duties. I also generated letters and notices to clients of any changes and updates on their cases using the company's docket system called ProLaw. And I worked on ProLaw updating clients' notes. I also attended a workers' compensation hearing at the Workers' Compensation Board with an attorney, providing basic assistance with document preparations for the attorney. I was able to offer my skills with Microsoft Office, mainly Microsoft Excel, to the staff by creating Excel spreadsheets for efficient office use. My notes and documentations of all my activities during the externship and my hands-on experience had given me the tools that I needed to enter into the paralegal field with confidence and excitement so that I can enforce my other skills from what I had learned during my studies for the AAS degree in paralegal studies.
Thank you so much, Lata. That was so wonderful to hear that you had a phenomenal experience. Next,
I did, thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. Next, I would love to introduce the current Vice President of Sigma Kappa Delta, CJ Gray. CJ, you graduated with your associate's degree in paralegal studies and are now continuing at Plaza College to earn your bachelor's degree in business. Talk to us about your decision to continue your education and how that will affect the trajectory of your career.
Good evening. Thank you, Director Cohen, and thank you, Director Lazarus, for having me at this wonderful event. So when I first started at Plaza, my only intentions were to get an associate's degree and become a paralegal. However, as American philosopher John Dewey once said, arriving at one goal is the starting point to another. So as I approached completing my goal of achieving my associate's degree, I thought about my next academic goal. I knew the plan after graduation was to get a position in a law firm that where I can implement what I've learned and grow in the law field. But then what? That then what lingered in my mind as the final days of my last semester ended. For days, my mind played ping pong on whether I would continue to attain my bachelor's degree or call it quits after graduation. But then I reminded myself why I initially decided to go back to college. And that was to not only better my life, but the lives of those who look up to me. And then at that moment, my decision was made. Bachelor degree it is. If I stopped then, I would be shortchanging myself on becoming the best version of myself. Obtaining my bachelor's degree has made me optimistic about the trajectory of my career goals. Having gained a bachelor's degree will provide me with more opportunities for professional and personal growth. Since continuing on to get my bachelor's degree, I have strengthened my critical thinking skills, public speaking, leadership, and research skills. These skills will ensure that I am a well-rounded candidate for any firm or organization that I'm employed with. So for the students in attendance today who are considering continuing their education, I leave you with this quote from the great Nelson Mandela. Education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world. So I am challenging you all to not only change the world, but most importantly, change your world. And I hope that everyone takes this into mind in considering pursuing their education. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, CJ. Incredibly inspiring, Lata. I have had the pleasure of working with you both, and I am just so inspired to continue to see your growth. You are both all-stars, and thank you again for sharing your insights with us tonight. I would now like to pass it back over to Director Lazarus.
Thank you, Director Cohn. Thank you, Lata. Thank you, CJ. I was also very fortunate to have you both in the program, to go through, have you in my classes. You were phenomenal students. You're an inspiration to the students who are coming. Anyone who ever wanted to talk to somebody who did it right, these students did it right. They put in the time, they put in the effort, and they sought out any help from their professors or other students. They were just all around excellent students and a good example for future students to follow. So I'm so glad we got to hear from you both today. Now, I would like to present to you the students who have shown excellence as they advance through their studies. So the first student to receive our Academic Excellence Award is Darla Lawson. Darla, can you please share a few words on why you chose to pursue paralegal studies and what you are most excited for as you near graduation?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. Well, I chose paralegal because I've always been intrigued with the law. I've always thought that anyone who had all evidence of not being found guilty can still be found guilty. And I wanted to know why was that. I wanted to know more of it, go into depth of the law to understand then what was happening, why was he convicted. And then they all have so many legal terminologies that after hearing it, I always wanted to look into it to see what they were always talking about. So I've depth into it a little more and a little more to where it made me so curious. I just stayed with the law. And well, nearing graduation, I'm excited about this because I will actually be the first in my family to graduate from college. So I am so excited about that. And it is such an indescribable feeling that I'm in love with it. This has been an intense journey and I fell in love with it up and down. It's been a roller coaster, but there's one thing I'm so grateful for, that I did not give up, and I hope that no one ever gives up and continue your education.
Thank you so much, Darla. I'm right there with you. I was the first person in my family to graduate from college, so I know how that feels. Yep. So I understand. I know how that feels. I'm so proud of all your accomplishments, of your hard work. I've known you for a long time. You're another one of our excellent students. So I'm really glad you were able to share and speak to the students tonight. The next student that's receiving our Excellence Award is Shanaz Ramrati. Shanaz, can you please tell us why you became interested in paralegal studies and what you are most excited for as you progress through your studies?
Sure. Good afternoon. So,
Shanaz, I'm sorry, we're having some trouble hearing you. I don't know if your mic is working properly.
are you able to hear me better now?
A little bit. You sound very far away.
Shanaz, you can always try logging out and joining back from your cell phone, like dialing into the Zoom. It might work a little bit better. So what we'll do is we'll go on to our next award. Yes, Director Lazarus, and then we'll come back to you, Shanaz. Don't worry. So log off and try coming back on from your cell. These things happen all the time. Don't worry.
Thank you so much, Dean Callahan. So in the meantime, while we deal with our technical difficulties that we've gotten used to throughout this entire time, I'm going to ask Shaniqua if she could please tell us what prompted her to choose paralegal studies and what she is most excited for as she prepares to enter the field. Shaniqua is one of our newer paralegal students, so she's more at the beginning stages of her program. So that's why we want to know about what made her choose paralegal studies. Shaniqua?
Hello, everyone. Well, first off, I want to start by saying thank you to the whole entire Plaza staff for at least giving me this opportunity. When I first signed up for Plaza, I had to write an essay. And in the essay, it was stating what my goals was. And I did the essay. I thought I did a good job, but I was told you're not ready yet. Come back when you're ready. And she was so right. She was right. So I just wanted to say that I chose Plaza because paralegal, excuse me, because I love helping people, you know, and especially some people are incapable of helping themselves, such as children or elderlies, you know. So I figured that if I get sorry, one second. I'm so sorry.
I think you're okay. I think you came back.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes. No.
I can hear.
Shaniqua, are you back? How about Shanaz?
I'm back. Can you hear me better now?
Yes, we can hear you fine. I think we're going to play a little ping pong. We're going to switch back and forth. I apologize. This is what happens with this technology. Sometimes we have a little bit of our technical difficulties and we have to adapt. Like every good paralegal, when something throws a wrench in our works, we have to adapt. So we're going to adapt and we're going to ask Shanaz if she can just tell us why she decided to study paralegal studies. Shanaz is close to the end of her studies, so I want to know what she's most excited for as she progresses through her studies as well.
Sure. Thank you for that. So as I was saying before, and you guys couldn't hear, I'm sorry. As a little girl, being a paralegal and working in the law field was definitely something that I did not think that I would be doing, basically. I always loved the arts. I've always wanted to work in television. That was my go-to job. That was my dream job. But then after my first year of attending college, I realized that one, it's extremely competitive in the media industry. And two, I need to choose a career that will not only help myself, but help those around me as well. And being from an immigrant family, I always had to help my family in understanding paperwork and filling them out, which is where my love for helping others came to be. And to be honest with you, choosing paralegal studies at Plaza happened by chance. I was actually looking into like the medical field, but I was like, why not give paralegal studies a shot? And I ended up loving it. I'm able to combine my passion for helping as well as my experience that I've had from working as an administrative assistant before, so into one career. And so as I near graduation, I'm more excited to take the next step into the law field and try to get into the paralegal department at my current job, which I've heard they have a really good department there. And I also do plan on continuing my studies and hopefully getting my master's degree.
Thank you so much, Shanaz. Thank you. I'm really proud of all the hard work that you do. Shanaz is an evening student. She works during the day, so she has it extra tough. So I know how that is. When I first started teaching, I taught at night, and I give so much credit to night students who have full-time jobs and responsibilities, like most of our students, and then continue to earn great grades and put in the time and effort in all their studies. Thank you, Shanaz. I'm really proud of everything you've done. Shaniqua, are you back? I think we lost Shaniqua for the night, but Shaniqua is fabulous. She's a very hardworking student. She's one of our newer paralegal students, and she's really excelling in the program. She's working hard and putting in all the time and effort that she could in order to get the best possible experience from her classes. She's asking questions, she's participating, she comes to class with her camera on. So she really is one of our stars up and coming for the paralegal program. Okay, so I think because I don't have Shaniqua back, I'm going to thank her anyway. I'm really proud of her hard work, and I want to thank everyone for joining us here this evening. If you forgot to put your name in the chat, please do so now. It's really important that you put your name in the chat. If you're current students, that you make sure that you get your extra credit from your paralegal professors. I know it's finals time, so it's really important. Okay, so once again, I really want to thank Sherry Estrin for all the wonderful things she said, all her advice. And of course, I want to thank all our wonderful alumni and all our current students. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. Thank you to all our administrators. Thank you to all the people who helped put this event together. I really want to thank you all. And I want to thank all the students and all the interested people who came to this event, the potential students. Please reach out to us if you have any questions. Thank you all so much.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night,
Good night.
everyone.
Thanks for joining, everyone.
Good
Thank
night.
you.
Good night. Thank you.
Director Storr. Thank you.
There
Good night,
she is.
everyone.
Good night.
That's your director of admissions.
Good
Stay behind
night.
you.
How am I still?